Jared, this event is ridiculous. Let's just get that straight, man. I was looking at some of the old guys who wrestled here. First off, Drew Matton is a special guest.
Drew Matton was a special guest, yeah.
3-time state champ.
Did you ever look at his brackets?
Yes, he told me that there's a bracket where there's 18 state champs in it. That's incredible. He never won this event.
18 out of 48 guys state champs.
That's crazy. And then obviously the big one that Nathan Tomasello never won this event.
Julius, I think maybe was.
Yeah, I don't think he ever won the event. It's like crazy the guys have won it. And then the 3-time champs is the who's who, right? Palmer, the Logan Stevers, the Chris Phillips, those guys. I mean, David Taylor. It's pretty incredible. But how do you guys put on such a top-notch event? And why is it so much tougher? It's obvious why it's tougher than the high school. But how do you make it like, and how do you draw people? How do you keep this the toughest event year in and year out?
Well, I mean, we're since the beginning, 1999, you and I were, just getting into college. So it's almost 20 years old. So you have 20 times to do something, and you're accepting the feedback of the wrestling community of what's the best thing for the event. You know, it's not our way of what we do, it's what everyone does. And, you know, we take suggestions from everybody what we should be doing, and each year we make improvements to the event. It's just every year we're putting something back into it to make it a better event.
You were in retail, which I don't know if people know this or not. Retail's brutal. Yeah. I think you were like regional manager for Target.
It's in logistics, yeah.
Yeah, you were doing logistics at Target and retail, and that's relentless. That's a lot of work. What brought you back into? I know you love wrestling, and you guys do a bunch. You service a bunch of sports. Mm-hmm. It's not just wrestling. Wrestling, I think, is the toughest and the most prestigious for me, and that's what we know. It's our market. But what brought you back into the OAC, the Ohio Athletic Committee, and why did you want to do this and not do?
It's just, it's everybody's dream to work in sports, and being business background, grew up with my dad running his own business, and putting wrestling and business together. I mean, I think sports and business are most people's dream jobs. Be involved in an organization like this where we can make improvements. We're involved in other sports, like you said, and it's just being around wrestlers, every weekend. It's fun, and you're putting on a good show. It's the compliments we got here. Hey, this is a great event. We love being here. It's just rewarding, and it's a lot like wrestling itself. You put a lot of time in, and it's gratifying. You put the work in. Wrestling, it's hard work, but it's very gratifying. It's same thing. Got about a crew, about 150 people that are putting in long hours here. Very, Jude Rock, Terry Young putting a lot of hours in to make this thing work. And and when you see the smiles on these people's faces, after they win, or even grateful when they lose for the chance to compete in the finals or on this stage, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
I look at the OAC and the evolution of it, because obviously I remember when it was at Cleveland State, Ian wrestled Skenesny in the finals in a crazy match. And I look at that, it was like Hunter Stever was there, Ham Tassari was there. They had all these just like complete freaks. But you've changed venues. You've stuck at this venue. This seems to be the home of.
I mean, you just take
OAC.
A look around. I don't even move the camera, but you take a look around. There's not a bad seat in this place. It's it fits 10 mats comfortably. You have the hockey dashboard you can warm up behind, so there's a good view. You're not on top of the mats in the way, so every fan can see all 10 mats. We got the bout boards up top. Plenty of hotels. The city of Youngstown's been great. That's a concern. And when it's at a Kent State or Ohio U, there's how many hotels available. It's just been a good partnership here. We're from the city, from the people here at Cavelli, to the hotels, restaurants, everybody. Like I said, there's a lot of people involved here. It's a good wrestling venue. You got a warm-up area back here. Got to set up the stage, similar to the high school state tournament. It's just a good venue. It's not centrally located, but you don't have a venue like this in Central Ohio.
What is the vision of OAC moving forward? I know you've expanded into other sports, football being one of them. Cheerleading, I think, is one of them.
Cross country.
Yeah, it's crazy. What's your vision? You're a visionary guy. You're a business-minded guy. You have an MBA from, is it Kent State?
Kent State.
You have an MBA from Kent State. It's like you're a pretty smart guy. You've helped your dad develop his business as well. You've rebranded stuff before. You've done all types of stuff. You got a pretty good resume, is what I'd like to say. But what's the vision of OAC, Jared Opfer, moving forward here 5, 10, 15 years out?
I mean, we just want to keep on putting one of the best shows in the country, in Ohio, of wrestling. keep making sure wrestling is, getting the attention it needs in Ohio. There's the novice state tournament by the Ohio Grapplers, the Delta group. They had close to 800 kids wrestling in that. If we're helping them, keep these kids involved in wrestling, educating parents and coaches on, how wrestling works, and so they're not discouraged in their first year. Ohio wrestling is going to be healthy. If we can work with officials and getting new officials out, and we have people officiating at the top level, beginning level, and middle level, Ohio wrestling is going to be healthy. So the vision for the OAC is, making sure we're putting on great events, getting the right people involved in wrestling, and keeping the right people involved in wrestling. And putting a good product. Last night, 2 Ohio guys in the national finals. We want kids to stick with wrestling. The guys that may be on the fence when they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old to stick with wrestling, and you never know. Like you said, Tom Masello never won this weight class, but if he's loving wrestling, if he's walking in here to the Valley Center and, wow, this is pretty cool, look at this parade of champions. We all have that moment where we fall in love with wrestling. If we can put on a good show here and get these kids to fall in love with wrestling and stick with it, we're going to have, Ohio representing real well in the national tournament in college, and, just good people. You and I, how many, we're surrounded by wrestling people. They're good people. And if, we're putting these kids through wrestling in Ohio, they're going to be being good people.
5 days from now, you come back and do it all over again. Times 2, actually.
Yeah.
It's a bigger field.
50% more people.
Yeah, it's a bigger field.
Over 1,200 next weekend. So, yeah, we're already ready. We got the podium switched out already. We're ready to roll.
You got anything else for me? Because we're going to be back to do it all over again, man.
No, I just appreciate all you do for the sport, Ted. Truly appreciate it.
All right, hey, thanks for the time. I'll be back next week. And I'm glad I could drive to the night, be a road warrior, and be here for you, man, all right?
I appreciate all you do.